All Net No Rim, we back with another video. I go by the name of Stealth the Producer. We got Doughboy Bush, and we are back talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, man. We're going to talk about this team and how they're starting out. There's a couple little things going on down there in Memphis, man. So this team might look a little different with their superstar player, or is he even still a superstar in Ja Morant? But we're going to talk about it, man. But before we get to that, if this is your first time to our channel, please hit that sub button, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the Memphis Grizzlies. And so we're going to get straight to it. Let's just start with Ja Morant. Let's start with Ja Morant. So, there's been a lot of chatter about Ja Morant not being happy in Memphis, which I kind of anticipated. I anticipated this when they traded Bane away, and they already the previous year they already got rid of Dillon Brooks, but I heard they kind of really wasn't feeling him because for certain things. I don't know how true that is or not true, but a couple years ago, the Grizzlies were in contention, and they were looking like a team like, okay, they might be next up. We were looking at the Grizzlies, how like the Minnesota Timberwolves are right now, kind of like Western Conference Finals, couple years, messing around like, okay, can they get to the finals? Can they make a run? Can they get over the hump? We were looking at the Memphis Grizzlies like that a couple years ago. Time changes things, right? So now they're looking like a roster and a team that's nobody's really talking about being competitors. Nobody's talking about getting to the NBA Finals or anything like that. And now Ja Morant is unhappy with the organization. He pretty much said it himself. They asked him specifically, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but, how can you get your joy back and playing basketball again? And he was like, he just, damn, you know what I'm saying? So, what is their record right now, sir?
Their record is 3-5.
The Memphis Grizzlies are 3-5,
and they are in the 11th spot.
And they are
currently
in the 11th spot. Again, that right now, not terrible. Here's the thing: nobody's out of it right now until
not at all.
I think in like 2 weeks you're gonna start seeing teams like, okay, this is how things are gonna go. You're gonna start seeing trends. But Memphis 3-5. That's not terrible. It's almost 50, a 50% winning percentage. Actually it's 37.5, so it's not.
Yeah, 3.75, yeah.
But I don't think he likes the way they're starting out, and I don't feel like they really have a competitive roster. Let's just kind of go from there. What are your thoughts on everything we just talked about right now, and anything you want to add to that?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ja has to be more professional. You are the star player of this franchise. You are the alpha omega of this team. When they bring up the Memphis Grizzlies, they bring up Ja. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? And with your answers and responses to these reporters, when they're asking you about where's the joy at, or why is the lack of production on your end, and you're saying, I don't know, ask the coach, or you don't know how you're going to go ahead and get your joy back. Bro, these are not answers you should go ahead and give to the media, because you're going to go ahead and get looked at and they're going to flip it in a different way.
Okay.
He was already looked at for the incidents that's already happened, outside or off the court. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Outside of the NBA arena. So my thing is that you don't want to still continuously have this stigmatism of you being this problem child NBA player who can't figure out how to go ahead and win or figure out how to correct your attitude on the court and as well as off the court. For me, he has to look himself in the mirror and ask himself, do you really want to be here in Memphis? If not, it's okay. Go behind closed doors, talk to your agent, talk to the front office, figure out how they can either get this roster better or either say, hey, I want to go ahead and get traded. Because when you look at this roster, the only person they still have on this team that was a part of those little runs when they were making deep runs is Jaren Jackson. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is gone.
Yeah.
I was surprised they went ahead and traded Desmond Bane. It didn't make sense to me on the reason why they did that, especially because he's such a young core that was on that team. Mm-hmm. So to me, it kind of caught me off guard. But looking at this team on paper, I don't see them contending personally. I don't know about you.
No, I don't.
So,
okay,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I don't really see them contending either. I don't really like this roster, man. Let's kind of talk about that again. Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, those are your top two, and after that, it falls off. Zach Edey, he had some good games last year. I thought there was some promise with Edey last year, but I think he started off the year. I think he's injured. I don't even think he's playing right now.
Injured.
And then you got Santi Aldama, Brandon Clark, who's always injured. I did like the Ty Jerome pickup, but apparently that's not making too much of a difference right now. Jock Landale,
right?
John Conchar. And then a bunch of guys, I gotta be honest, I don't know too much about him or her. I remember Vince Williams Jr., he had a couple good games, when guys were out last season. Scottie Pippen Jr., he's been shown to be like, I think he's an NBA player. He's a good NBA player. He's
currently hurt right now. Yeah, he is.
But he's hurt right now. But he's hurt right now too. And besides that, I don't like much about this roster. Jalen Wells, kid from Sacramento, homegrown here. He has some really good games his rookie season. But I just don't think it's enough to compete, and I think that's why Ja's a little frustrated. And to be honest, I was gonna say, to be honest, I mean, the coach, you fired your coach, so you got a new coach. Maybe he wasn't happy with that. I believe he probably had a good relationship with his last coach. I'm not sure how that went, but and the team is struggling. And then like maybe Ja just needs. Let's be honest. Maybe he just needs a change of scenery. We've had the gun issues, we've had the cases, and I'm not saying all of that is pertaining to him being specifically in Memphis, but sometimes when things happen, you're just like, I just want to see some different walls. I want to see some different streets. I want to see some different. I just need different energy. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he needs that. You know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about that, right? So we pretty much established we don't see them as being a contender.
They got it's crazy because they got Zach Edey. We just mentioned him. They got him down in the G League right now.
He's in the probably because he's coming back from injury. I'm assuming
from injury. Yes, I'm pretty sure they're probably trying to give him reps. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and get his health up. I know, like we said, Scottie Pippen Jr. has his toe injury, so he's going to be out for a little while and be reevaluated here in the next week or so. So we're going to go ahead and see how that goes. But like you said, it's just this roster does not look good. So what were you going to say about the Ja situation as far as like?
So I was going to say, outside of that, so we're establishing playoffs. No. They're definitely not contenders.
Playoffs. They're a playoff team. Play-in, maybe, possibly a play-in.
You think?
I wouldn't.
You think they're a playoff team?
I said possibly. It just depends on whatever else happens with all the rest of the teams that are in that Western Conference. Possibly. Okay. I'm not going to say. If I was a betting man, I'll probably go ahead and take the under
on playoffs.
Yeah. Definitely.
I apologize, y'all. My camera is kind of tripping out of focus right now. Hopefully it kicks back in. Let's see.
It was. I think when you stopped moving, I think it was good.
All right. So,
but yeah, I don't feel like this team is a playoff contending team. Like you said, Ja, which is the big conversation here. It looks like he doesn't want to be there. And if he does, cool, so be it. But it's always good to go ahead and have a change of scenery. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you need to put Ja on a team that has leadership there. An older OG that can take him up underneath their wing, guide him some, and show him the ropes of how to go ahead and navigate through, NBA game season when you're on your highs and when you're slumping. How to teach you how to go ahead and conduct yourself off the court too as well. So if he does go ahead and leave, he would have to go ahead, me personally, would have to go ahead and go to a team that has a leadership that's there that can kind of put him in check. When he's getting ready to go ahead and go off that leash, reel him right back in.
Now there's,
you know what I mean?
We're hearing a couple teams. I know. All right, so y'all know, or if you don't know, the Kings are kind of like our hub team for this channel, right? We talk a lot about the Sacramento Kings, and we will be moving forward. But that's one of the teams we're kind of hearing about, maybe vying for Ja Morant's services as a point guard. And I was kind of thinking him over the summer. I'm like, man, I wonder if he wants to move, because the Kings were looking for a point guard. And I was thinking Ja, but we didn't hear anything about him being on the move. We didn't hear anything about like any trades or anything like that. So that kind of went by the wayside. The Kings signed Dennis Schroeder, but I feel like it's a perfect fit basketball wise. I don't know personality wise if it's the best fit. But then what would be for Ja? You know what I'm saying? I do feel like the Rockets will be a good move. But I don't know if they have the assets. You probably got to come off Jabari. maybe like a Reed Shepherd. For financial reasons, you would have to like kind of make that work. You're definitely not getting rid of Şengün. You're definitely not getting rid of Tari. No. Well, no, you might get rid of Tari. You're not getting rid of Thompson. You're not getting rid of Thompson, KD, or Şengün. After that, everybody else might be on the block. So possibly them. We talked about point guard. They need a point guard. Dallas didn't have enough, do they? No, unless you get rid of like a PJ Washington. Or like a lively.
Dallas, I think they have the assets to go ahead and make the trade too.
But you got Kyrie coming back.
But you got Kyrie and you got
if they didn't have Kyrie come back, I think they would consider it.
Okay, yeah, it don't make sense for him to go to Dallas.
So what teams? Sacramento has financially. Financially, they can do it.
I don't like that. I don't like the Sacramento move.
But take the. I know why you're saying you don't like that, but take that part out. But take that part out of it.
Why am I not liking it?
I'll let you say. I don't want to speak for you, but I know why. I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I don't like the Sacramento move because you got to think about it. Okay, what does Sacramento have to offer? Let me ask that to you first, and I'm gonna answer the question. What does Sacramento have to offer that the Grizzlies are willing to go ahead and take back?
If
you're gonna have to put. Go ahead.
If you want me to answer. So if you're the Memphis Grizzlies right now, when you're talking about trading a guy like Ja Morant, I always say this. When teams have a superstar and they're doing bad, they start off slow or they're, the expectations aren't being met as far as the team success. Now you're looking for rebuild. You're not looking to get a superstar back. You're not looking to get a star back. You're just looking to kind of fill in guys who are professional, who could play, who fit within the cap, right? Because you got, you don't want to go over any, aprons or anything like that. Definitely. I feel like the Kings are starting off slow. I feel like you look at chemistry. If you're Memphis, you're just trying to kind of, get by, have some, like I said, professional players, get to that draft so you can maybe acquire some picks, maybe a first round pick in a year or two, something like that. I feel like you got a Keon Ellis who I feel like holds more value than you may realize specifically because he could play defense. No, not me. I know. He's a good player. It's a little crowded right now with that backcourt as we talked about, right? Maybe you could throw a Devin Carter in there just for financial purposes, and maybe he can be a backup over there, get some tick. Young guy, maybe he needs a change of scenery. Dare I say, maybe a Malik Monk. I wouldn't want to do it, but we heard his name in trade rumors over the summer. There were rumors that they were trying to get him in Detroit or something like that, but it just didn't work out. And again, who knows? Would Memphis take a professional guy in DeMar DeRozan? Because I don't feel like you need him when you have Keegan Murray and you got Neat Clifford. You have two guys who could play that 3 spot, and I don't really feel like you need DeMar at this point. I feel like, I said it last year, you got DeMar DeRozan to fit with the Sabonis and Fox chemistry combination and build that chemistry with those 3 guys. Once Fox was gone, I don't think DeMar DeRozan really fit with what we were trying to do. I think he was like an established veteran who was a mid-range assassin who could score. Then you had your interior in Sabonis, and you had your speedy De'Aaron Fox, who's a versatile scorer inside out. But once he was gone, it's like, and again, Scott Perry didn't bring him here. Now we have Scott Perry. Monty McNair is not the GM anymore. So I think that maybe, to answer your question, to go back to circle back, I feel like if you're Memphis, that package wouldn't be that unattractive because if you're looking to rebuild and you get some quality players back, just to, compete night in, night out, I feel like they'd be willing to do that. I could be wrong, but to that you say what?
When you look at this roster and you look at the roster of the Sacramento Kings, it's not too far off. And no disrespect because the Kings got players over there, but it looks like it's just a bunch of players on that roster that's just thrown in.
For the Kings, right?
My thing,
and that's why I said it would make sense to make a trade with the Memphis to get that point guard and to get some of these, to cut the fat a little bit to get some of these guys on the roster that you really don't need to where it's cluttered, to where you can maybe get, all right, let's come off of Monk, let's come off of DeRozan, let's come off of Devin Carter. Boom. Now we got Schroeder, we got Ja, we got our guards. You still got Keon Ellis. You know what I mean? You got Neat Clifford. You know what I mean? You got Levine. That's why I'm like, okay, you're kind of cutting the fat a little bit and you're gaining more in Ja Morant, and maybe he can shine more here when he has more talent around him, shooters, a big. You know what I mean? Basketball-wise, I think it works.
But the thing about it is, do you think that Ja will look at the Sacramento Kings being the same team as the team that he's currently on right now with the Memphis Grizzlies.
I don't think so. I mean,
I can see.
I promise you. Okay, I'm gonna say that I'm not a biased person. I promise you, I'm not. I look at it from a lens. When I look at this Kings roster, there's talent here. I just feel like if you add a piece like a dynamic piece like Ja Morant, and you take away some of the pieces that maybe aren't really, working well together as of now, and you implement a Ja who can get up and down that court, now you're just as dynamic as you had with De'Aaron Fox. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If he could stay healthy, I feel like the Kings would be a good fit. I feel like the Rockets would be a good fit for him. Other than that, maybe East, because Thunder, Spurs, Lakers, Nuggets, no.
They're already set. Yeah, everybody's already set.
Timberwolves, no. Trailblazers. I mean, you got Dame Lillard coming back, but does he want to go to that team? I don't know. If you're looking at the Eastern Conference,
I would think that if you're Ja, you're looking to go ahead and go somewhere to compete. The frustration is stemming from you not being able to compete with this current roster that you have.
The only team I can really see him going East, because I'm looking at the Eastern Conference right now. Maybe Miami. Maybe Miami Heat. Bulls don't need him. Sixers don't need him. Pistons don't need him. Bucks. Okay. I'm not sure if they can come up with a package. Hornets, no.
I mean,
Magic, no.
None of them teams that you mentioned, they're not bad options because the Heat have a culture.
I think they got
Eric Spoelstra over there.
I think it's a short list. And I think the Kings are on it.
It is a short list for sure. I would think, and if that list becomes anything bigger, and he does get traded somewhere that we did not mention or somewhere that we do not expect, I would be surprised.
I would too.
But I mean, I can see him kind of teaming up with the Sabonis's and Murray's. Yeah. To make it, you know what I'm saying, a serviceable squad, with a nice pick and pop. But currently right now, the way this roster is constructed, I don't see Memphis doing anything at all that would be like, all right, they're getting to the, they're going to go ahead and make moves.
No.
Unless they make some trades. So they got to figure out how to make that work with Ja. I don't know how they're going to go ahead and do it, but they're going to have to figure it out. And if they're not, then he needs to go ahead and ask for a trade or they need to ship him out. But currently the only
trade asset they have right now is Jaren Jackson. And what are you going to get for him? Like, that's going to change the culture and change, as far as winning in Memphis right now. I think it's time for Ja to move, man. I think he needs to change the scenery. He's 26 years old. He's been there. What, it was his year 6, 7 now?
Something like that. Yeah.
He's approaching 10 years, give or take a year or two pretty soon here. Or a few years rather. And, he probably, wants to maximize his prime and see if he can start competing. I think the Kings are the two teams I feel like are the Rockets and the Kings. I feel like are the best fits for him right now.
Okay.
But we'll see. Yeah,
he came to the league in 2019.
Say it again?
He came to the league in 2019.
2019? Okay. Yeah. All right, so that is our take on the Memphis Grizzlies right now. I don't see playoffs for them, and I feel like Ja Morant is probably better served somewhere else right now. I think Doughboy agrees. I apologize for my camera, the focus. We're gonna work on that, man. But if this is your first time to the channel, please hit that sub button, like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on all your podcast apps. Search All In No Rim, and you will find us on there, man. But until then, we will get back at y'all with the next video. Be out of here, man. Hope you have a good day. Peace.
Yes, sir.